Okay, we're going to be talking about fulfilled prophecy of the Quran, the Roman conquest of Persia. So here we go. The Quran, chapter 30, verse 2 to 4 states, the Romans have been defeated in a nearby land, yet following their defeat they will triumph within 3 to 9 years. So the context of this was revealed, this Quranic verse was revealed in Makkah, in response to the pagan Arabs. According to Yusuf Ali, the Arabic word for few years, bida, means a period of 3 to 9 years. We see from the historical records this is what happened. So basically, the reason why the Quran chapter 30 verse 2 to 4 was revealed was because the pagan Arabs were saying that the Persians beat the Romans. This happened during the Roman wars with the Persians. So the Quran chapter 30 verse 2 to 4 states that the Romans would defeat the Persians, much to the pagans, to refute the pagans, because the pagans were cheering for the Persians or wanted the Persians to win. So the Quranic verses came down rebuking them or refuting their future boast about the Persians. But anyways, the Persians defeated the Romans and captured Jerusalem at about 614 or 615 CE. It was 614. It was the year 614 that the Quran chapter 30 was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. So this timeline is important, as we'll see. The Romans counterattacked the Persians in 622 CE. The battle known as Heraclius Campaign of 622 CE was the Roman Empire Heraclius defeating the Persians in Anatolia, which is modern-day Turkey. This happened exactly 7 to 8 years, 8 years after the Quranic verses were revealed. So this prophecy came true in the time period given in the Quran, which is the time period of Bidah. Bidah meaning 3 to 9 years. So this happened within 7 to 8 years, which fits the Quran's prediction. The Quran's prediction that the Romans would beat the Persians within 3 to 9 years. For the secular records confirming this, and emphasis on secular, see the following sources, which I'll leave on the screen. So these are secular non-Muslim sources that confirm the Roman victory over the Persians. Historian and Muslim commentator al-Tabari states that the Romans were again victorious in 628 CE, where the victory was completed. See the History of al-Tabari, Volume 8, pages 100 to 101. So this is you can find this in the History of al-Tabari, Volume 8, pages 100 and 101. He also states that the Romans were victorious a few years later, and this shows that the Roman victory over the Persians was a permanent victory. So basically, there's only one critic of this prophecy. It's the infamous, Sam the Scam Shamoon, or should I say, Sam Smackdown on ex-wife Shamoon, admits this prophecy of the Quran came true, but he tries to argue that the Quran was textually changed to make this prophecy come true. However, this is false. Now, the issue of the Quran's preservation and how the Quran was preserved from the oral recitations to the early manuscripts to what we have in today's Quranic manuscripts, that's a whole different topic. So I'm going to leave the link to a video I did last year called The Preservation of the Quran. And you can see early manuscripts and you can see what non-Muslims have to say about the preservation of the Quran. But anyways, the Quran chapter 30 was recited by the Prophet Muhammad and written down during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. And the early manuscripts we have match what the Prophet Muhammad said and with today's Quranic manuscripts. For early manuscripts of the Quran and how even non-Muslims are saying that the Quran's early manuscripts match today's Quran and that the Quran we have today is the same one recited by the Prophet Muhammad 1400 years ago, see my video on the Quran's preservation. And if you read Tafsir ibn Kathir on Quran chapter 30, it states that, Abu Bakr was reciting these verses. So not only was the Quran 30 recited by the Prophet Muhammad, but Abu Bakr, or one of the main disciples of the Prophet Muhammad, was reciting this surah, or this chapter of the Quran. So this Quranic verse was preserved from the mouth of the Prophet Muhammad to his companions, and it was preserved down to the early manuscripts. So this proves that the Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet, because he stated a prophecy that came true, as stated in Deuteronomy 13 and 18. Thus, the Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet of God, because the prophecy came true. And that's one of the ways to know a prophet, according to Deuteronomy 13 and 18. So the conclusion of this video is that the Quran could not have been written by a human, as humans are unable to accurately predict the future. The Quran says it's revealed by God in the Quran chapter 13 verse 1, and that God fulfills his promises and prophecies in Quran chapter 3 verse 9. And we can see this fulfilled prophecy as proof of this claim that the Quran came from God. So this is just one of the many examples of the Quran not coming from a human source. The Quran had to be written by a supernatural source, and the Quran states it's from God in the Quran chapter 13 verse 1, etc., etc. So the source of the Quran is God, as he states so.